Dr. Demento Request Line.
My name is Megan Baldwin, and I listen to your station, WAOR, Niles, Michigan. And I like to request the Battle of New Orleans. Thank you.
In 1814 we took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. We took a little bacon and we took a little beans, and we caught the bloody British in a town in New Orleans. We fired our guns and the British kept a-coming. There wasn't as many as there was a while ago. We fired once more and they began to run it on down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. We looked down a river and we see the British come, and there must have been 100 of them beating on the drum. They stepped so high and they made the bugles ring. We stood beside our cotton bales and didn't say a thing. We fired our guns and the British kept a-coming. There wasn't as many as there was a while ago. We fired once more and they began to run it on down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Old Hickory said we could take them by surprise.
Dr. Demento Request Line.
My name is Megan Baldwin, and I listen to your station, WAOR, Niles, Michigan. And I like to request the Battle of New Orleans. Thank you.
In 1814 we took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. We took a little bacon and we took a little beans, and we caught the bloody British in a town in New Orleans. We fired our guns and the British kept a-coming. There wasn't as many as there was a while ago. We fired once more and they began to run it on down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. We looked down a river and we see the British come, and there must have been 100 of them beating on the drum. They stepped so high and they made the bugles ring. We stood beside our cotton bales and didn't say a thing. We fired our guns and the British kept a-coming. There wasn't as many as there was a while ago. We fired once more and they began to run it on down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Old Hickory said we could take them by surprise if we didn't fire muskets till we looked them in the eye. We held our fire till we see their faces well, then we opened up our squirrel guns and really gave them well. We fired our guns and the British kept coming. There wasn't as many as there was a while ago. We fired once more and they began to run it on down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, they ran through the briars and they ran through the brambles and they ran through the bushes where a rabbit couldn't go. They ran so fast that the hounds couldn't catch them on down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. We fired our cannon till the barrel melted down, so we grabbed an alligator and we fought another round. We filled his head with cannonballs and powdered his behind, and when we touched the powder off, the gator lost his mind. We fired our guns and the British kept a-coming. There wasn't as many as there was a while ago. We fired once more and they began to run it on down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, they ran through the briars and they ran through the brambles and they ran through the bushes where a rabbit couldn't go. They ran so fast that the hounds couldn't catch them on down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico.
After the turn of the century, in the clear blue skies over Germany, came a roar and a thunder men have never heard, like the screaming sound of a big warbird. Up in the sky, a man in a plane, Baron von Richthofen was his name. 80 men tried and 80 men died, now they're buried together on the countryside. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 or more, the bloody red baron was rolling up the score. 80 men died trying to end that spree of the bloody red baron of Germany. looking dog with a big black nose. He flew into the sky to seek revenge, but the Baron shot him down, 'cause his files are dead. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 or more, the bloody red Baron was rolling up the score. 80 men died trying to end that spree of the bloody red Baron of Germany. Now Snoopy had sworn that he'd get that man, so he asked the great pumpkin for a new battle plan. He challenged the German to a real dog fight. While the Baron was laughing, he got him in his sight. In a fix, he tried everything, but he'd run out of tricks. Snoopy fired once and he fired twice, and that bloody red Baron went spinning out of sight. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 or more, the bloody red Baron was running on the score. 80 men died trying to end that spree of the bloody red Baron of Germany.
I've only comparatively recently emerged from the United States Army, so that I am now, of course, in the radioactive reserve. And the usual jokes about the Army aside, one of the many fine things one has to admit is the way that the Army has carried the American democratic ideal to its logical conclusion, in the sense that not only do they prohibit discrimination on the grounds of race, creed, and color, but also on the grounds of ability. Be that as it may, some of you may recall the publicity a few years ago attendant upon the Army's search for an official Army song to be the counterpart of the Navy's Anchors Aweigh and the Air Force's Up in the Air, Junior Birdman, and so on. I was in basic training at the time, and I recall our platoon sergeant, who was an unfrocked Marine. Actually, the change of service had come as quite a blow to him, because it meant that he had to memorize a new serial number, which took up most of his time. At any rate, I recall this sergeant's informing me and my roommates of this rather deplorable fact that the Army didn't have no official song. And suggested that we work on this in our copious free time. Well, I submitted the following song, which is called "It Makes a Fellow Proud to Be a Soldier," which I think demonstrates the proper spirit, you'll agree. However, the fact that it did not win the contest, I can ascribe only to blatant favoritism on the part of the judges. The heart of every man in our platoon must swell with pride for the nation's youth, the cream of which is marching at his side, for the fascinating rules and regulations that we share, and the quaint and curious costumes that we're called upon to wear. Now Al joined up to do his part, defending you and me. He wants to fight and bleed and kill and die for liberty. With the hell of war he's come to grips, policing up the filter tips. It makes a fella proud to be a soldier. When Pete was only in the 7th grade, he stabbed a cop. He's real RA material, and he was glad to swap his switchblade and his old zip gun for a bayonet and a new M1. It makes a fella proud to be a soldier. After Johnny got through basic training, he was a soldier through and through when he was done. Its effects were so well rooted that the next day he saluted a good humor man, an usher, and a nun. Now Ed's an intellectual, brings a book to every meal. He likes the deep philosophers, like Norman Vincent Peale. He thinks the Army's just the thing because he finds it broadening. It makes a fella proud to be a soldier. Now Ed flunked out of 2nd grade and never finished school. He doesn't know a shelter half from an entrenching tool, but he's going to be a big success. He heads his class at OCS. It makes a fella proud to be a soldier. Our old mess sergeant's taste buds have been shot off in the war, but his savory collations add to our esprit de corps. To think of all the marvelous ways they're using plastics nowadays, it makes a fella proud to be a soldier. Our lieutenant is the up-and-coming type. Played with soldiers as a boy, you just can't bet. It is written in the stars, he will get his captain's bars, but he hasn't got enough box tops yet. Our captain has a handicap to cope with, sad to tell. He's from Georgia, and he doesn't speak the language very well. He used to be, so rumor has, the dean of men at Alcatraz. It makes a fella proud to be what as a kid I vowed to be. What luck to be allowed to be a soldier at ease.
A return visit from Tom Lehrer on the Dr. Demento Show, and we also heard the Royal Guardsmen from Florida with their version of How It Was in World War I. Snoopy versus the Red Baron was a hit single in 1966, and Johnny Horton had a #1 hit in 1959 with a song about the War of 1812, the Battle of New Orleans. One more now about the Army. This is a song from the Threepenny Opera by Kurt Weill. There's been quite a revival of Kurt Weill's music lately, an album with several rock stars singing his songs. He's the man who wrote the Alabama song, like "Oh, show us the way to the next whiskey bar," that the Doors once recorded. Kurt Weill wrote that one in 1927, and the following year he wrote the Threepenny Opera, which featured the famous song "Mac the Knife," and also this song about the Army. Listen especially for the line about what kind of hamburgers the soldiers like to eat.
Johnny joined up and Jimmy was there.
And George got a sergeant's rating.
Don't give your right name, the Army don't care.
And the life is so fascinating.
Let's all go barmy, live off the Army, see the world we never saw.
If we get feeling down,
we wander into town.
and if the population
should greet us with indignation, we chop them to bits because we like our hamburgers raw. Johnny drank up till he's got caved in,
and Jimmy did not drink tea,
and George replied with a right to the chin,
for the Army is just a pink tea.
Let's all go barmy, live off the Army, see the world we never saw.
If we get feeling down,
we wander into town,
and if the population
should greet us with indignation, we chop them to bits because we like our hamburgers raw. Johnny is missing, Jimmy is dead,
and George went crazy shooting.
But blood is blood and red is red, and the Army is still recruiting. Let's all go barmy, live off the Army, see the world we never saw. If we get feeling down, we wander into town, and if the population should greet us with indignation, we chop them to bits because we like our hamburgers raw.
The Army song on the Dr. Demento Show from the Threepenny Opera, written in 1928. That was the original cast album from the famous off-Broadway production that ran from 1954 to 1961. Saw it myself when I was in high school. The album just reissued on a compact disc.
30 seconds ago, I was listening to tapes with my boyfriend Eddie. Then he gave me a new grape Sirts candy. Suddenly, I'm about to go on stage to play drums with my favorite group. I never tasted grape like this before and can't wait to try new fruit punch. Imagine, Ritson and 2 new flavors to sweeten your breath. Gotta go. Can't keep the crowd waiting.
Sirts Candies and new grape and new fruit punch. Nothing's ever the same after you taste one.
There's a fellow in Tennessee called Brother George Underbrush who preaches the most amazingly demented sermons. You might remember his one about the green garden hose. He's got a new one out, and we'll hear it next on the Dr. Demento Show.
Dr. Demento! Dr. Demento! Dr. Demento!
My dear friend, you think you've got troubles? Let me tell you about something that happened to a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, a few years back, up in Toledo, Ohio, I believe it was. They had been trying to have children for 4 or 5 years without success. And then one day, Mrs. Jones says, John, we are going to have this little bundle of joy. So time went by and Mr. Jones took his wife to the hospital. He waited and waited and finally the doctor came out. And Mr. Jones says, Doc, is there something wrong? Is my wife okay? And the doctor says, yes, your wife is okay. And Mr. Jones says, has she had the baby yet? And the doc says, well, you might say that. What you've got here, Mr. Jones, is just a head. But it's a perfectly normal head and can laugh and cry and wiggle its ears and do anything that a normal head would normally do. And the doc says you and your wife will have to decide whether you're going to take it home and raise it or whether you want to put it into some institution of some kind. And so Mr. Jones rushed in and talked it over with his wife and came running out and said, Doc, we have made up our minds. We are going to take it home with us and raise it. And so my friends, they did, and they found it was a great conversation piece around ice cream parlors and places like that. And my dear friends, they sent him on through grammar school and on through high school, and every year he was head of his class. And the day he finished high school, he started putting in his application all over town for a job. And then he came home and waited and waited. It just seemed that nobody was going to give Head a job. Then one day, my friends, he was by this little hot dog stand, and he asked the man if he needed any help. And the man says, yes, I could use a mustard pointer. And Head got the job. He would sit there on the counter with a pencil in his mouth, and when a customer would come in and order a hot dog and say, where's the mustard, please? Head would point his pencil at the mustard. Oh, my friends, now this was working out good, until one day a wise guy came in and ordered a hot dog and says, hey, Head, where's the... And Head immediately pointed towards the mustard, and then the wise guy says ketchup. Oh, my friends, the boss heard the conversation, and my friend's Head was fired. But now he was lucky. When he got home that night, he had heard from his application at the post office, and he went down and got that job. He would sit there in the lobby, and when people would come by with letters to mail, Head would lick their stamps for them. But my friends, after 6 months, he became a glue addict and had to quit that job. So he went home and stayed. And my friends, he was so depressed. And then one morning, Mrs. Jones came in and said, John, today's the boy's birthday. He's 18 years old. Why don't you take him down to the corner bar and buy him his first drink? So Mr. Jones says, this is a great idea. So he took the boy down to the corner bar, and he said, bartender, this is my son, Head. It's his 18th birthday, and I'm buying him his first drink. So the bartender poured the drinks, and Mr. Jones drank his, and then Head drank his, and immediately a left arm popped out on Head. The bartender says, I am not believing this. And Mr. Jones says, never mind, just pour the boy a double. So the bartender did, my friends, and Head drank it down, and then a right arm popped out on Head. And the bartender says, I am getting out of this joint. And Mr. Jones says, well, all right, but before you go, pour my boy a double. And the bartender did, and Head drank it down, but then just disappeared altogether. Then everything was quiet for a while, and the bartender finally says, you know, Mr. Jones, I think your boy should have quit while he was ahead. Brother George Underbrush, good day.
Be on the lookout for Buchanan and Goodman, last seen wearing
Black denim trousers and motorcycle boots.
Look out! They're after us! Let's get out of here! Are you Buchanan and Goodman?
Yes, we are.
Hello again. Well, this is a summons. You're under arrest.
This is John Cameron in court. The trial of Buchanan and Goodman is now in session. Is the district attorney ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Call the first witness. What is your name?
They often call me Speedo, but my real name is Mister.
What is your complaint against Buchanan and Goodman?
They wouldn't give me a ride in their flying saucer.
Call the next witness. What took you so long?
I crashed into the jungle.
Your Honor, I object. What have you got to say? Order the court. Call the next witness. Aren't you Skinny Dynamo?
Yes, it's me and I'm
Buchanan and Goodman, have you anything to say?
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Order! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you may leave the room.
Meanwhile, back in the jury room. We return you now to the courtroom where the judge is saying to the jury, and the jury is saying to the judge,
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
Yeah. Yeah.
We find them not guilty.
This is John Cameron again. And now what are you going to do with that summons? This is John Cameron, and this is the judge saying,
That's all there is to that.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
I like to skate on the other side of the ice. I like to reminisce with people I don't know. Granted, it takes longer. I like to fill my tub up with water, then turn the shower on and act like I'm in a submarine that's been hit. And I hate when my foot falls asleep during the day, because that means it's gonna be up all night. When I get real bored, I like to drive downtown and get a great parking spot, then sit in my car and count how many people ask me if I'm leaving. Recently, I was walking my dog around my building on the ledge. A lot of people are afraid of heights, not me, I'm afraid of widths. I have a 3-year-old dog. I named him Stay. It was a lot of fun when he was a puppy, because when I called him, I would say, "Come here, Stay, come here, Stay." And he would go. He's a lot smarter than that now. Now when I call him, he'll just ignore me and keep on typing. He's an East German Shepherd. Very, very disciplined. Last night I was in a bar and I walked up to this beautiful woman and I said, "Do you live around here often?" She said, "You're wearing 2 different color socks." I said, "Yes, but to me they're the same because I go by thickness." And she said, how do you feel? And I said, well, you know when you're sitting on a chair and you lean back so you're just on two legs and then you lean too far and you almost fall over, but just at the last second you catch yourself. I feel like that all the time.
Stephen Wright on the Dr. Demento Show from his hit album I Have a Pony. Before that, Buchanan and Goodman on Trial, one of the weirdest and wildest of the many novelty records made over a 25-year span by Dickie Goodman, heard there with his ex-partner Bill Buchanan, and many of the rock and roll hits of 1956. And we had Brother George Underbrush with The Head.
Just the two of us.
Uh-oh, it's gonna pour.
Quick, into this phone booth.
What, two of us in there?
Come on, you're getting soaked. Squeeze in here.
Just the two of us.
That clean, crisp Dentine taste makes it nicer to get close. Not even mouthwash freshens your breath better than when you're chewing Dentine.
What if the phone rings?
We let it ring. Dentine, for the two of you.
Just the two of us, you and I.
There was this man once who was driving his car through Yosemite National Park in California, and he saw this chipmunk in the middle of the road who refused to get out of his way. Well, that obstinate chipmunk became the inspiration for perhaps the best-selling novelty record of all time. We'll hear about the story of Ross Bagdasarian, also known as David Seville, next on the Westwood One Radio Network.